of irresponsibility among ministers. That's why I'm asking if this is actually a ministers' conference, because I want to step into that area of my gifting now, which is not the best. It's not right. How can a minister sleep with an assistant pastor's wife? Is it normal? What kind of weakness is that? What kind of weakness is that? Listen, it will take heaven for that kind of person to ever respect you. I mean, to take heaven. Yes, you might be going forward. And some of us are not even remorse with our activities. Some of our young ministers, we are not properly brought up. We are not. You will see them carrying the name of reputable ministers, but they are badly brought up. They are orphans. Badly brought up. They just use the name as a means to an end. They are not brought up properly. What do we not hear? You will introduce a concubine. I traveled to Nigeria. One of my friends, they were giving us room. He was there with his. He said, my wife and I. I said, shut up. Are you married? And they were to give them one room. He said, my wife and I. A girlfriend. You move with a black woman all over the place. The day we come to ordain you, you present us a yellow woman as your wife. And some people have been writing books. Who banned this to a preacher? We have 2 wives. The question I want to ask, who is his father? Who is his father? Where is his father? Because we start understanding from who his father is. Somebody will stand on his church and say, I don't believe in mentorship, but he wants people to follow him. But he doesn't believe in mentorship, but he wants people to follow him. I don't care which grace you have. Those things don't move me. I'm too matured for that stupidity. I've been drunk for years. I can't recover just now. I can't. You don't believe in mentorship, but you want people to submit to you. Who tell you paying tithe to a higher ministry means you are submitting? No. Don't put people's lives at risk. There is a sin a leader can commit and God begins to kill followers. It happened in the Bible. Begin to kill innocent people. Say transition. We should sit up. Sometimes I used to be afraid to be blunt because I thought they wouldn't invite me to preach in churches. God told me, he said, the day you will not be able to speak what I put in your mouth, because of the fear of a man's face, I'll call you home. So I don't want to die. So sometimes when they hear that I'm also part of the preachers, they don't come. Because they don't like to hear the truth. But people need to be told the truth. We are teachers, so our own punishment is greater. So they are looking and follow me as I follow Christ. That's what Paul said to Timothy. It's very important. So if we're talking about launching out into the deep, what if Peter disobeyed Jesus? They are not. They would have heard the 2 of them there. The competition is becoming too stiff now. So we can do anything to keep members. Too stiff. I was preaching in a church one time, and the pastor removed his suit and said, God asking that anybody who will give 100,000, he will wear the left side of the suit. The one who will give 200, he will wear the whole suit. Say, excuse, let me do what God asked me to do. He forgot. Anyway, he didn't know who I was. He just invited me as a guest. When I took the mic, I started with him. I said, let me also do what God asked me to do. Let me also do what God asked me to do. And I began with him. $100,000 can buy 12 of those suits. Then I should give 100,000 to wear when I want to talk. Say things of the spirit are foolish to the natural man. Exploiting God's people, say prophetic. Stop that rubbish. That is why people keep turning around in one place like blind horses. No advancement. Some of you have received all those prophetic words on your head. Which one has come to pass? Which one has come to pass? That is why I love this ministry, because we have a balanced father. And if you don't, I watch him on the TV. You have a balance, because if the truth is said to you in parts, your upbringing is affected. You are malnourished. You are malnourished. Yes. You will see thousands of people. You want to count the tithe, it's not up to 100,000. Huh? Why? They are members, but they don't have quality. No quality. A young man who's sitting 24 hours doing nothing, running behind a prophet, says to worship. Shut up. Shut up. Push to worship. And sometimes, listen, sometimes when they begin to see the father progressing with his wife, they are advancing, and some of them are older than the prophets they are serving, then they begin to ask themselves questions, and then they become inner devils, and those ones are difficult to identify. Difficult to identify. So we either wake up to responsibility and take our destinies in our hands and advance under this assignment. There was a young man who was always coming to Catholic church. They're sitting down, and one time the father and the catechist came out. They came. They said, "No, hey, don't disturb here. This is our premises. This is the catechist and the father. We are the ones to remain here 24 hours. Go and look for a job. Go and look for a job. Go and look for a job. You have asked for this hard thing. Irrespective of all the service, they still gave him condition. If you see me." He didn't say when. It means he was not certain. It means he still depended on his ability to be sensitive. That one is not prophetic. That one now is not prophetic. Yes, you have been following me all over the years. Yes, you have been very faithful, following me in every outreach. But if you see me, have I not been seeing you sin? Which other sin again, sir? If you, I know where you are staying. I know even your bedroom. Which sin again, sir? That one now was left for him. If you, not when you, if you can see me, then you will get it. But if you don't, it means there's a dimension a prophet cannot help. There's a level cannot help. You want him to give you his wife? So we need to come to that consciousness. Time is very precious. 24 hours is given to everybody, irrespective of different time zones. It boils down to 24 hours. So whatever you do with your time determines how productive you are. So don't accommodate laziness for stewardship. Don't follow stupidly. Follow with your eyes open. It means the prophet's eye was closed. That's why I say if you can see me, it means you have been following me blindly. Let God open your eyes. Your destiny is you. Irrespective of us leaders to give account for you, but during judgment is one at a time. Some of you are business people. Go back to your business, and the oil from this ground will prosper it. Don't kill that dream because you see they celebrate preaching. No. Ministry is not only preaching. Go and preach in the market with your tomatoes. Preach in the market. Preach in your tailoring. Preach in your business organizations and conglomerate institutions. Preach there. Preach there. You see, young, gifted, talented people abandoning their area of gifting to come and operate in which gift? Your gifting is your area of passion, and that is how your success begins. It is based on this burden that I wrote that book. Because a lot of things, we have a lot of irresponsible Christians in church. So nobody can boast that this one is my member. Because if they see a hotter person, they move. Why? Because they are never planted. They don't want to be planted. It's not the prophet. They don't want to be planted. This is a minister's conference. We need to raise lasting fruits. The ones who were believing God to trade the blaze in Cameroon revival have all run to America. Of recent, I met an archbishop playing lottery with his family. Marcus Tambale. And these are people we are looking up to. The ones we thought will be following them, they have all run for greener pasture. Say, God is sending you to America. And they hide you in a container. And they mistake you for banana. And you say it is God that is sending you through a transition. Which transition? You are in America. There are people who can prove that God sent them. If you go to check, if a prophet wants to go, you should leave him to go. I release you. Grace. I release you. Listen to me. Listen to me. Because it's getting hot. We don't even need people now. Hear me. Somebody give Lord a big hand. No, we need to sit up. It's very important. We need to sit up. I've seen blind eyes open. I've seen cripples. We have seen all kinds of miracles. Some people who have been in my outreaches, I've seen them. But maturity will tell you, say what I want you to say at a particular time. I'm not a politician. You speak what God says you should speak at a particular time. This is a minister's conference. You want to pray for who? You want to cast demons from who? You tell them the truth to take to their churches. It's very important. We need to sit up. We need to sit up. We are tired of charitable organization in church. Let us help sister this with 100,000. Let us help sister this with. When will you help others? When will you stand? When will you stand? We thank God for the church being a city of refuge, but that does not substitute laziness in church. It does not substitute laziness in church. Clapping hands. The church is not a place to just come and clap hands and shout hallelujah. It is a labor room where destinies are constructed and released into their enviable futures. That is why we come to church. I can't come to church poor and go back poor. I can't come to church sick and go back sick. I can't come to church frustrated and go back more frustrated. Which God did you believe in? Which church are you attending? A time will come where we address all our members who are contrary to the mandate and flush them out and they suck away. Yeah, because you add weight to the church, and when a man is pressured, his speed is affected. Sometimes a man of God, instead of him to preach what God, he begins to address worries because he's under pressure. You look at the young boy looking old. Which anointing? You putting him under stress. It's important. It's important we take our destinies very seriously. Yeah, we need to advance at an individual level. If you can see me, not if you can follow me. You have been following me, yes. But the last test to you becoming who I am is if you can see me. Let me ask you, did he see by the prophet? Is the prophet my father, the chariots of Israel, and the husbandman thereof? It means God opened his eyes to his own assignment and used the experience he got during training to embark on his own assignment. That was the mantle. That was it. He used the mantle as his foundation. So if you serve a man, you are supposed to do more than he does, because you start from his ending to begin your own. So I expect this ministry to be above Auchi. You don't understand me. Listen, if it doesn't happen, it means that impactation, I question it. It's a prophetic word. A time will come where not just bosses, but trailers will be packing here. Tell your neighbor, give me space, give me space, give me space, give me space, give me space. I want to expand. Give me space, give me space, give me space. I need space. Don't suffocate me. Give me space. I want to advance my destiny. I must arrest it by the force of aggression. If you can see, he didn't see by the prophet. He saw by what made the prophet the prophet. That was what he collected, not the prophet. The prophet vanished. He saw the prophet for who he really is. So the first step into receiving a mantle is service. And service is not coming to church. Some of us, if we're not matured enough, would have left our mentors. Listen, you don't need a pew mentor before mentorship. Because sometimes God can be sending you to somebody physically you don't like. That's why I say God does not lead you where you want. God said to David Oyedepo, he said, go to Benin. You are preaching faith. You have learned theory a lot. Go to Benin. I will lead you to a man who will carry you towards the practical dimension of your ministry. And God gave the name of Archbishop in the house. I said, Father, I've heard a lot of stories about that man. He's not genuine. And the Lord asked him, grade A starts from what? He said from 75. He said, it means he has 25 weaknesses. He's still grade A. Go there. Go there. I'm not sending you to go and learn his weakness. Go and learn his strength. That's what you need. And when he knocked at the Archbishop's door, the Archbishop called him by his 3 names for the first time. David Olayoni Oyedepo. Are you the one God sent? Yeah. Go and bathe. That was the first thing they told him. An adult, they told him to go and bathe. So some of you don't know. Some of us have been beaten publicly by our mentors. We have suffered things in front of girls. come to our city, back us. I was coming to preach in my friend's church. I met him beating up members, the choir leader and the person playing keyboard. Back. So I was coming when he was on his 16th stroke on the woman. The anointing I came, we finished. Serious. I said, Bishop, let me punish. Let me punish. Because when a leader himself is struggling to settle with God and then members are bringing him pressure, he can die. That is what happened with Moses. That's what happened with Moses. When Moses was still trying to get rudimentary acceptance from God's disciples, his relatives who don't fear him, elder brothers for that matter. We want this, we want this, we want this. And at that time, under pressure, you begin to take wrong decisions. Begin to take wrong decisions that will affect the ministry. When God becomes silent in the life of a man of God, not because you are living in sin. There are silent chapters. After the baptism of Christ, he went to the wilderness where he meets Satan, not members. So there is a time where you have a retreat with Satan. Listen to me. That is when you prove. Let me tell you, you don't only prove your ministry to God, you prove it to Satan. He is part of the judges that harnesses your calling. He is the accuser. You are the accused. God is the judge. Jesus is your advocate. So there is a time where you have to settle scores with Satan. You don't need to be righteous or a sinner. No. After his baptism, after God said, "This is my beloved son," the next place he went was wilderness. Silent chapters where you are with Satan, call and call. When Jesus sent his disciples, they came back, they said, "Master, demons were subjected under you. We cast out demons." He said, "No, I saw Satan fall like lightning." He said, "The reason you had that success there was because I fought with the ogre here. Though I didn't follow you. His demons went with you while I was with him here. So because he fell in front of me, I'm not surprised. But be happy that your names are in them. Because I am the reason why you had that victory. But going to heaven is your responsibility and commitment. So don't rejoice over what God used you to do. Rejoice over who you become of God. So he said, "Do not rejoice that demons are subjected to you, because they are subjected because I fought and strangled their leader. So the victory came because of me. But the one you should rejoice is when the victory comes because of your commitment." Yes. That is where grace comes. It's a pastor's conference. It's just that we don't have time. I will get you people drunk in this cathedral. In this cathedral. In this cathedral. Because we need these changes. I was telling one of my sons, he was criticizing the gospel ministers. I said, no, it's okay. You don't need to criticize them. They are the old wine. So if you come with your new ideologies, listen to me, old wine skin, they are not willing to change. You understand? The tradition they are telling you worked for them in their dispensation. But we don't need that in our dispensation. So don't force your reasoning to. They have already succeeded. They are old wines. They have been carrying that wine skin for long. So if you want to force them to be in your present dispensation, you destroy yourself and them and the vessel. Not them. You destroy yourself and the vessel. So I told her, I said, no. Gospel minister says, see yourself as one of the fathers and come to that consciousness. Start raising your own children with the ideologies you think will advance them for this generation. When you become a father with broad feathers, people will run under for shelter. So instead of you criticizing an already existing structure, separate. That's the only one God accepts. The wind that parts. Separate. Start your own. I saw on the internet Sons of Prophet Kevin, and somebody joined me there without my permission. He joined me among the members. And I clicked light. Not because I encourage it. Let everybody begin to carve his own umbrella. The competition is very stiff, so people should be in their own place. Carve your own corner and remain there. I die, I will. Come rain, come shine. We'll remain in this transfiguration. That's just the truth. There is nothing so serious about Nigerian preachers. We can become it if we are ready. Some of us are ruggedly anointed, but we don't have platforms. That is a problem in Cameroon. We have dreaded oracles that are positioned by Jehovah with no platform. Jesus faced that in his ministry. That is why he needed a name to baptize him. That was John the Baptist. That is why John the Baptist was called. That's why I used to advise popularity is not grace. Those are two different things. Jesus had more grace than John the Baptist, but John the Baptist had the name. So God said, go and benefit from the name so that your ministry will stand. without facing identity crisis. That is why John the Baptist wanted to baptize. If you notice at the baptismal pool, there was an argument between the two. Jesus' baptism delayed. Others, they just come. You don't talk when they are baptized. You just come, they throw you, come out. But there was a talking. He said, no, hey, you are the one to baptize me. Jesus said, if I baptize you, these people will kill you. It means you too are a sinner. It means you too are a sinner. So if I baptize you, they will kill you. So let us be so to fulfill all righteousness. Save me, I save you. Say, leave grace first, you get name. Leave grace first, you get name. So there is a place where grace counts. There is a place where name counts. There are some places he can enter because they know him there. They don't know. Isn't it? But there are places he cannot enter. Grace. Mark and Peter began to run when they heard that Jesus had died. The younger generation and the older generation were in a race. Of course, the young man had strength. He outran the older generation, but when he got to the door, he stood to wait for leadership. Peter came and entered. I don't want to believe it is demon of stagnancy like many preachers preach it. It's respect of authority. Yes, I have physical strength more than you, but your hairs are grayer than mine. He entered, and when he entered, he saw the garment that was used to cover the head of Jesus was wrapped and separated. Meaning, I, as the head of the church, I have fulfilled my assignment. So the one covering the head was separated. It is meaning the body of Christ to conform to the fullness of the stature. That is why God has released apostles, prophets, teachers, pastors for the completion of that stature, the fullness of Christ. So the mandate of Christ is finished. That is why the one that was used in covering his head, the Bible was too careful to say it was folded and separated. So the responsibility is now the church to play its own part. There's no power in heaven. It's here. It is here. It is here. We need to come to that consciousness to provoke that power. It is here. We need to see occult meetings stop the presence of a man of God. We need to see witches passing around and shout when they see you coming. But we are too cold because we depend on a person, a human being for that matter. I used to remember some years when we used to pass. It's hard for us to hear morning cries now. Those are forgotten acts in this present day Christianity. Sometimes I watch your channel during Bible studies, during prayer meetings. I don't see people. Maybe it is Sunday. My goodness. Everybody comes and sits to hear prophetic word. To hear prophetic word. Jesus raised disciples like people he had to hand responsibility to, not people he was to rapture with. So that is why you are here. To be taught on ministry. If God has not called you, locate where he has called you. If not, you'll be frustrated as a tongue talker. You'll be frustrated. You will be frustrated. So don't be. There are periods in your life where you need to separate and really ask God some things. Yes, ask God some sincere questions. Ask some sincere questions. So those of us who are students, focus. Because it is in education that you start shaping and you are destined. You have a lot of illiteracy in church. That's why it's difficult to lead. Because people whose head are not level, you cannot administrate them. You can't. People are level-headed. You can't administrate them. And that goes to some prophets as well. That goes to some leaders who are not properly brought up. They don't even know what it means to disobey a mentor. They don't know. It means nothing to them. So we need this kind of teaching. Because I want you to grow up properly. You grow up properly. You meet, because you're a prophet, you meet an old man that can give birth to your mother. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. We need to learn manners. We need to learn character. We need to learn Christian values. That people look at us like that and smell God. Even when we are not praying. Say, the way this man is, I suspect this man is a Christian. There are people you can sense like that. Without losing, you just see them. Something tells you this about it. Where is that aroma? Where is it? We have conducted the spirit like a box. So we predict everything. When I was in school, there was one deeper life man. Not that he was a fanatic. No, but the way that man was, something told me this man has glory. Until I discovered he was a born again. You just see the way he is. You see the way he is. That glory is coming back to the church. We are launching into the deep. So if you are launching into the deep, make sure you are safe so that you don't drown inside. That deep, Satan is there. That deep, that when Jesus spoke and said, and commanded, he said, launch out to the deep. There are some fishes there that can chew net and tear it. So you need to make sure your net is suffocated. That's the training. So that you don't drown there. Let's stand to our feet.